Welcome into Coach's Corner, Jordan Woodruff, and today join us is head coach of boys basketball here at Ponca City, Ivan McFarlin, a guy that I got to know back in our college days a little bit. We've told this story on the radio side, but for people tuning in, Ivan and I actually. He was an Oklahoma State basketball player, the Warrior, and I was a manager at that time, freshman manager when he was a senior. So he, let's put it this way, you broke me in a little bit as far as being a manager.
Yeah. I mean, I broke in, but in all honesty, very good manager. And we've had our share of guys that came in, but when he got in, he really bought into the system. So I was appreciative of that, and he didn't give us no slack, which we needed in college. So I appreciate that a lot.
Well, I scored one time playing a little pickup ball against Ivan, but I paid for it dearly because he set a screen on me, and I didn't know what it was like to get a screen in college ball, and he set this screen on me, and let me tell you. My ribs were bruised after that screen you set on me. So.
Yeah, I think Coach Sutton got on me a little bit. So once Coach Sutton gets on you, you have to retaliate, and that's what happened. And he ain't the only one that got them screens in college. I think John Lucas got a couple of screens as well. So
yeah. Well, let's turn our attention to the Cats basketball.
Okay.
Once you get past that New Year and over Christmas break, you get into a big part of the schedule. Now, lost a game earlier this week because the snow and weather a little worse down south with Guthrie. Mm-hmm. So that game was postponed out of precaution. Yep. But you are going to make that up. Well, that being said, these next 2 weeks coming up, you're going to be playing quite a few games, making that one up as well. And it's an important time as you make your way towards regional play.
Yeah, it's very important. And obviously, me being a coach this is my fourth year doing it, just to see how quick these games go. And this year we're in a conference, so now we know it's Tuesday, Friday, rather than maybe 2 years ago when it was maybe a Monday, Wednesday, and then a Tuesday, and it's just...
That wasn't fun on the broadcaster either.
It was not fun on you guys. I just think this is a very important part of our season. Obviously, the guys before, they prepared well. It's just that we just got to, I wouldn't say raw end of the stick. It was just that we just didn't take care of business throughout the season, and sometimes you get messed up with probably a high-powered team at the end of the season. But I just think that this is going to be a very important period for our guys, especially our seniors. Obviously, there's a lot coming up with homecoming and senior, the last time playing and the Robs. And so there's a lot of things going through those guys' heads, and not to mention just school, just to make sure that grades and stuff is in order. So there's a lot for these guys. There's a lot for myself as a coach, just preparing scouting reports and just being ready, and then also just making sure that I try to get these guys on the same page as the playoffs approaches us.
Well, and it's not like you guys haven't been too far away when you look at it. I mean, it's really, with basketball, we talk about all the time, it's a game of runs. Yeah. But you guys, it's been maybe just this little portion of the game, this one quarter or whatever, that's made the big difference. And if you can just maybe get that full 32 minutes, you feel pretty good about getting some W's.
Yeah, I feel good. I mean, they work hard. Like you said, it's just like little spats in the game. We may have a bad first quarter, but the second, third, fourth quarter, we might play actually well. And it's just that first quarter that hurts us. Or it may be the first half we play good, and the second half we may collapse a little bit, and it kind of just mess up the flow of the game. But that's just, growing pains. Also, as being a coach, you have to understand these things. And I love all my boys. I treat them like my own sons. But at the same time, most of the kids on the team have experienced that type of moment when games may start off good, and it gets to a point that it's not going their way, and then that's the part that we have a problem with, and we're just trying to solve it the best way we can.
Well, and part of that too, I mean, you guys, I feel like about every game there's almost been somebody missing, yes. And we're talking about a key part. You haven't been able to really keep the team healthy, it seems like, since the get-go.
Yeah, and that's a part of the game. I love them all, but those situations happen, and a famous coach told me, next man up, you got to be ready to go, and I take that to heart a lot. And some of these guys have stepped up to the table and really performed, and the guys that I've relied on all season, for the most part, has done their job. And some guys are starting to rise from the ground and sprout a little bit, and a lot of people are seeing that. So we just got to continue to mold them a little bit, make sure those guys that may be injured just be there for support, and just be like, hey, I'm not playing, but I need you to fill in that gap for me. So.
Yeah. Well, talk about some of the guys and what you've seen as far as some of the growth with some of the individuals. Are there some guys that kind of stand out that you think have really grown throughout this season?
Well, obviously we're a senior-based team, and I thought obviously some guys step up in some games, and then the next game some other guy may step up. But my key guys for this year, obviously Elijah Kreisel is probably the one that comes up. This is a young man that just never really complained about who's in front of him. Right. He just said, hey, I'm going to keep working hard in practice. I'm going to wait till my time comes. And we've had some situations that guys got hurt, and he stepped on the court and really played well some key games for us. Obviously, I think that Nick Thompson, even though he's been struggling with his shot, I think that with a couple of guys out, he stepped up into that kind of like guard mode a little bit, and he's just trying to figure things out there. And
Trenton Monroy is one that comes to mind too.
Trenton Monroy, he's always been one of, obviously his injury hurt him a lot in the beginning of the season, but we all knew what type of caliber player he was, and he's starting to perform that well. Another guy to me also is probably Luke Hollis. This is a young man that took 2 years off playing ball to focus on other things. Obviously Stuco, he's running that, and he was in orchestra 1 year. Now he's our second leading rebounder on the team and our third leading scorer on the team. And he just plays relentless every game. And those guys really stick out to me. Obviously, like I said, certain guys have certain moments throughout the game, but it's just those guys have really just, despite what's been going on, and they may not get the minutes they got the first game, but when they do get their minutes, they're ready to play.
You faced adversity. Yes. We've known that. We talked about that. So now that you look and you're going into maybe the last part of the season, this last month or so, what are some of the goals that ultimately you want to see achieved in this last month?
Well, first off is our turnovers. I think that we still turn the ball over quite a bit. From checking today, I think we're at 19 turnovers, which is not going to get it done in these next games that we play. Also, I think the chemistry, for the most part, has been good, but when somebody gets hurt, it kind of messes up the chemistry a little bit. So our chemistry, turnovers, and then I think the last thing for us is just confidence. I think that guys get so rattled in everything that's around them, and from a guy playing college basketball, when you deal with, I feel, more than what they go through in high school. It kind of, some things do try to get to their head. Maybe it's somebody saying something about their performance, or it might be, oh, you guys lost by this many points, or it's, you guys' record is this, and stuff like that. So just the kind of the comments around them, if they can just kind of center it out and just focus on the team, which is us as a whole, and just be together. I think those three things will be okay for the end of the season.
My last point, I think there's some life lessons in there as well, right? And that's ultimately the goal. You want to win, but at the same time, you want to make sure these people are better people for playing
Yeah.
sports.
I want them to be better people. I understand that in this society, we always focus on wins and losses, and I understand that. But at the end of the day, it's about what these guys do when they leave the school. Some of these guys are going to be on their own. Some guys are going to be in college. And I had to learn that firsthand when I graduated from high school and went to Oklahoma State, being on my own. So just trying to get these guys to understand that side of the pillow, just like, hey,
Right.
the real world's about to happen in about 4 or 5 months. So we got to get you prepared and ready.
Yeah. Well, appreciate the time, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the season. And I hope you surprise some people. I think you got the potential to do it, so hopefully you guys can get on a little bit of a roll and maybe start surprising a few people, because I don't think the record's an indication of what your team can do.
Yeah, and our guys, they're a very good team, and we do encourage everybody to come watch us play. They do work very hard. They do show effort out there, so just please come out, support them when you get a chance.
All right. That's head coach of boys basketball, Ivan McFarlin. Appreciate you being on.
All right, and go Cats.
Yep, no doubt. And we'll have another Coach's Corner for you very soon. Jordan Woodruff saying so long. And until then, go Cats.